Hello everyone, welcome to our Group 6 presentation about social networking technology. Here is our presentation content. Please feel free to pause the video at any time if it's too fast. Social media has become very popular over the past decade and it has brought people closer to each other from anywhere around the world. However, this technology also has some downsides such as data privacy and security concern, emotional and mental health well-being, as well as deceptive and misleading information. Therefore, this study proposed to address ethical, legal, social, and cultural issues in regard to the use of social networking technology, then analyze and evaluate the impacts of information technology and the social responsibilities of IT professionals. This research aimed to provide a knowledge of ethical, legal, social, and cultural issues on the proposed topic and to deliver a better understanding on IT professional code of ethics and code of conduct and the Australian consumer law. Next, I'll pass on to Sujan for topic description and stakeholder analysis.
Social network technologies is a network technology that connects people through network carriers to form groups with certain characteristics. The more people use the product or service, the more valuable and attractive the product or service is. Social networking technologies, including hardware, software, service, and applications. This topic will explain social networking technologies in detail in terms of stakeholder analysis, ethical issue, legal issue, social and cultural issues. The stakeholder with more interest and power including users, social network platforms, and advertisers. Users are the basic for the development of social networking technology. This will promote social network developers to consider the user experience. Users are free to choose which social networking technology to use. At the same time, their participation may influence the behavior of social network technology from the providers. Therefore, users are the foundation of social networks technology. Other key stakeholder is the technology developers. The ethical consideration of social networking technology developers are also important to users. At the same time, other important issue with the social networking technology is right associated with user-generated content. Funding providers are critical to social networking technology. User bring advertiser bring funds provide funds from the expansion. In addition, stakeholders also including governments, public and social organizations. The development and the creation of social networking technology platforms need to comply with government laws and regulations. Therefore, the government is one of the important stakeholders in the development of social network technology.
Thanks. Now I'll be presenting about ethical issues related to the use of social networking technology. Ethical issues are conditions which a given decision or actions create a conflict with a society's moral principles. Some ethical issues are invasion of privacy, user data breaches, and deceptive information. Lastly, we will apply the IT Code of Ethics and Code of Conduct. First of all, privacy is a freedom from unauthorized intrusion. Some examples of invasion of privacy are monitoring users' activities without consent, unknowingly collect and analyze users' online behavior, and taking personal information out of their context. One study shows that this issue has significant impact on people's mental health, such as loss of faith, deteriorating relationships, anxiety, and stress. According to ACS Code of Professional Conduct, IT professionals should conserve to maintain and protect the confidentiality and privacy of the user's data. Next, data breaches is a situation in which sensitive information is accessed or disclosed without authorizations or is lost. Data breaches include personal details being stolen or sent to the wrong person, and database containing sensitive information being hacked. The risk or consequences of this issue include PTSD, financial loss, operational downtime, reputational loss, emotional distress, and more. According to IEEE Code of Ethics and ACS Code of Professional Conduct, IT personnel must commit to keeping any confidential information private and strive to protect the integrity and security of ICT. Last but not least, deceptive information is a fraudulent or false statement. It may include, but not limited to, misleading information, overstated statements, overpromising advertisement, and incomplete claims. The drawbacks are loss of trust, losing customers' loyalty, reputational damage, financial loss, and so on. According to PMI Code of Ethics and ACS Code of Professional Conduct about honesty, IT professionals must not breach public trust or not knowingly misleading anyone and does not take part in dishonest behaviors or condone to actions that is designed to deceive others. Finally, after a deep analysis and critically evaluated three different code of ethics and code of conduct, the overall ethical framework for IT professionals are endeavor to preserve the confidentiality, privacy, integrity, and security of ICT, be honest and responsible, take into consideration that IT professions have impacts on others, and place stakeholders' interests in the first place. Next, I'll hand over to Lily to talk about legal issues.
Thanks, David. Hi, my name is Lily, and this is the legal issue part. Social networking technologies provide an example of how the law often lacks advancing technology. In this section, I will discuss some of the legal issues or risks associated with social networking technologies. Common legal issues are focused on these aspects: service contract risks, copyright issues, information security issues, advertising business risks, and legal issues arising from transactions on social media accounts. For time reasons, my presentation will focus on the first three items. First of all, let's talk about service contract or user agreement. Service contract can be set up by SNS sites in an efficient manner, and this simplified configuration of the contract does not violate related laws. However, the content of user agreements on some social networking sites is just copied and pasted from other websites without permission, posing a significant legal risk for them. Besides, there's no way for the user to negotiate the terms of the user agreement, considering the disclaimers in some user agreements are often not very reasonable. SNS sites don't do their due diligence to prompt and explain the disclaimer, as is manifested by the fact that the user agreement is often very hidden on the registration page. Most users won't even notice the link to the user agreement, let alone read its lengthy and detailed content. Next, for a long time, social networking sites have been the hardest hit by copyright infringement. From my point of view, here are three main reasons. First, copyright law in the social networking context remains in flux. Second, this decentralized mode of reposting and sharing information makes copyright protection very difficult to carry out. Third, above all, users have lost effective control over the distribution of their original works in SNS sites. Last but not least, I want to talk about the leakage and misuse of personal privacy information and related regulations. The Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal is a good example. When it comes to the protection of personal information, the EU's General Data Protection Regulation, also called GDPR, should be a good example. GDPR is often regarded as the world's most authoritative and detailed privacy law. In addition, the California Privacy Rights Act, also called CPRA from US, is also a big deal. It may appear that CPRA applies only to one state, but given so many tech giants in California, it has also become a high-profile bill. Next, I will hand over to Jiachen to talk about social and cultural issues.
Hi, I am Jia Chen. In this part, I introduce the social and the cultural issue of the social network, which means the use of the social network to the violence ethical guidelines, which is leading to the issue between the social and the cultural difference. I may divide into the social issue and the cultural issue. Social issue include the adolescent mental health, span, and the psycho violence. Cultural issue is the cat fight. The first part is a social issue to the adolescent mental health. It includes the compared life and the sleep effect. The first point is compared life Social networking platforms have become a tool for the adolescent to show everything. They often post the high quality life and the photo on the platform, and the adolescent will have a mental of the comparison, which is conducive to the healthy development of the adolescent mind. The second is effect the sleep. The adolescent often stay up to the watching the social media, which is the only case, my opinion, but it's affect the last day study. The second part is social issue to the spread. Spreading is unethical and unhealthy information. Social network can quickly spread the spread in a short period of time and also endanger the security of the user personal account and exploit the personal privacy information, which is lead to the data breach. And the ones and eventually people use the steal the information and sell it. The third part, the social issue to the cyber violence. Cyber violence is other damage the reputation, spirit, and the rights of the other. Cyber violence are delivered into the cyber harassment and the cyber defamation. Cyber harassment is a set harass message that affect the life and the spirit of others. Cyber defamation is post the false information, social media, and damage the reputation of the other person. The next part is a culture issue to the confiding. Uh, Culture confiding is means because the culture difference is each city and culture. Some people is argue in the common area. For example, because blogger teaching the math is very special, there is argue in the common area for this way teaching. And the other issue is that the confiding actually want to the spread his the thinking to the other people, which is lead to the bad environment in the common area.
Hi, in this section, we try to apply the four steps approach to analyze the dilemma in protecting personal information. On the one hand, social network companies need people to upload their personal information to provide better services, and social network companies need users' personal information to provide advertising services to make profits. On the other hand, when massive personal information is misused, it will have negative consequences for the entire society. This PowerPoint page reviews some details of four-step approach, and because of the time limit, I will briefly introduce our first step here. Step 1. Analyze the facts of the situation. Social networks provide a platform for free communication and sharing. Any individual can develop software and provide services on the platform, including games, entertainment, work, etc. Collecting users' data do pose a significant danger to the personal privacy. However, it is only by analyzing users' behavior through huge data sets that Facebook can realize the precise placement of advertisements and provide good services. And of course, companies that need massive amounts of user information for commercial analysis will benefit from this, while the privacy of ordinary users will be violated. Here are some of our initial thoughts on positive solutions. In order to prevent the leakage of personal information, there are some suggestions for ordinary users. First, try not to fill out overly detailed profiles on social networking sites. Second, don't go through random friend requests from strangers on SNS sites. Third, set a SNS profile to the highest security level. From the perspective of Facebook and governments with regulatory responsibilities, I think they need to cooperate to build a globally harmonized framework for effective data and privacy protection. People around the world have called for comprehensive privacy regulation in line with the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation mentioned before, and I believe it would be good for the Internet if more countries adopted regulations such as GDPR as a common framework. Next, I will hand over to Jiachen to talk about our conclusions.
Thank you for letting me introduce the solution. In conclusion, I conclude the reducing point and the proposal of the research. Reducing point is may introduce the background of the social network, the knowledge, and introduce the stakeholder of the social network. Second is introduce the ethical issue, illegal issue, social and cultural issue. The next part is introduce the further solution. The next part is the purpose of the research. The first is according to the ACS code and analyze the issue encountered by the stakeholder in the social network. The second proposal is prepare the stage of the to the analyze.